Welcome again to another edition of Animal Nutrition. I want to thank you for staying tuned, always for sharing and liking, and also commenting. Thank you so much. Now, I believe you've been gaining value. Please tell someone and make others also get the values that you're also enjoying. Now, if you have a question, please don't forget to still visit the comment section, right? You have a correction, you think, or you have a suggestion, please, they're welcome. Now, we're continuing on manganese, a micronutrient required in the body. We'll consider the historical perspective, the sources of it, the absorption, metabolism, and today we are right in the function. Now, this is the outline on how we'll be taking all the minerals we've considered. Today we'll go straight into the functions. Now, the previous video we looked at the metabolism. Now, please do yourself this good, check the previous video and also the previous videos that we've also treated. We've done videos on macro elements before that, diseases of animals, so you want to take a look at them. So today, function. Now, is very important in physiological processes that affect organisms, animals. First is enzyme activation. What? Manganese acts as a cofactor. What are cofactors? Cofactors are components that helps enzymes to what? Function perfectly. Now, you know enzymes are substances that speed up physiological and biochemical processes without being used up in the process. Now, sometimes we need cofactors to function properly. So, manganese sometimes acts as a cofactor for some enzymes in helping them facilitate their functions. So, some cofactor involved in metabolism of carbohydrates, amino acids, and cholesterol. You know, cholesterol is a kind of fat. These amino acids. So in other words, in digestion of food. Then we look at bone formation. Of course, it's a mineral, and alongside with manganese, although it required in a smaller portion in bone formation. We talked about it when we looked at absorption, the importance of manganese in cartilages. You know, cartilages eventually become bones as the animal or human continues in maturation. So it becomes bones. So cartilages develop into bones. So manganese is important. Another importance of manganese is antioxidant defense. When you see antioxidants, these are organisms, chemicals or substances that prevent oxidative damages. Oxidation, that is presence of that is oxidative damages. That is, manganese help in protecting the body. For example, you have some other components that have oxidative features, like you have vitamin E, you have vitamin C. These are natural antioxidants. So manganese have that particular characteristics. Now, it has a formation of this complex called the manganese superoxide. Manganese superoxide, which is actually written manganese SOD, which protects the cells against oxidative damages. Number 4, manganese helps in wound healing. Now, when animals or humans sustain injuries, manganese plays a crucial factor. Manganese helps in supporting collagen formation and tissue repair. Collagen formation and tissue repair. Now, these are fibrous proteins that help in what? Protecting, that is, covering up, sealing up the place that have been torn or breached, lacerated. So manganese helps in doing that. And then in the formation of nervous systems, in the formation of the brain and nervous system function. So the myelin sheaths of the central nervous system a part of it is formed. Manganese helps with the formation of the myelin sheet, the covering or the lining of the nerve part, so manganese forms a part of it. And then number 6 in hormone production and other reproductive processes. For example, hormones like arginines, and there's this other one, enolase, and arginase, linolase, and then there's cysteine. Another one of cysteine. So things like this. So manganese helps in the production of some of these enzymes that are very important in reproductive and other physiological processes. Now, having gone through this, the functions being very important in the formation of enzymes or coenzymes that are useful in physiological processes, and also as an antioxidant preventing and oxidative damages. Now, I didn't mention this. Oxidative damages leads to formation of cancer cells and sometimes proliferation of cancer cells. So when there is an antioxidant, it stops the oxidation of cells that can possibly become cancerous in nature. So that is important. So that's an important part that manganese. I almost forgot that. Then in the bone formation, because it's good in the formation of cartilages. Cartilages eventually mature into bones. So manganese is actually useful in this. Now we're going to draw the curtain today. Thank you so much for staying tuned. A very short one, briefly. A very short one actually. I want to stay tuned for the next deficiency. Deficiency will be, what are those results? Consequences of having deficient or insufficient supply of manganese. It's either insufficient supply or insufficient absorption, because sometimes it is actually much in supply but it's not properly absorbed and utilized by the body. So what are those deficiencies symptoms? So stay tuned in the next video. I'm going to treat on this. But thank you so much for liking, for sharing. Thank you for watching. Watch again, share and follow, like. See you in the next video.